Hey everybody, Don here again, and welcome back to Ragged Edge Lure Works. So a couple videos back, I painted up this right here. This is a really deep diver, supposedly gets down to 25 plus feet. And I painted it in these Art Me iridescent paints. Now, they were advertised as color shift paints. And the bottom of this is a green to yellow or yellow to green, and the top is blue to purple. And I painted them over white. But if you look at that, I mean, even though it's kind of got a bluish purple color and a greenish yellow color, no matter how I turn this in the light, there really is no color shift. So when I was with my buddy Chris a few days back, he was telling me on the color shift paints you should paint them over black and you'll get a much better effect. So I'm gonna paint this same lure, the same pattern, with the same paints, only this time I'm gonna prime them up in black and see what that looks like. I also did, you probably saw the dragonfly lures, and that was a red flash and a blue flash. And although they're very metallic looking, there's no color shift to that. So I think I was sold a bill of goods when I bought these Art May paints, but I do kind of like the colors and I like the iridescent look. So let's see what happens when we paint them over black. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Now, these are same, let's call it a Walleye diver, just because I don't know what else to call it. Blanks. I had already treated the bills and primed these in white, but we're going to go ahead and repaint them in opaque black from Createx. And then I'm going to use the same colors that I used on this one. Now, even though these were listed as color shift paints, they're really just iridescent paints. This one, which says yellow to green, okay, well maybe that's just a yellowish green, kind of a chartreuse. And this one actually says bluish purple, and I assumed, mistakenly, that it would shift from blue to purple. That's not the case over white, but let's see what it looks like when we put it over black. Hoping for a different and better result. Let's get to painting. We're going to start off with this yellow-green flash. And, you know, this stuff is super thick, so I'm going to mix it up in a cup. But I'm going to tell you, way back when, a few months back when I started this, I was asked to paint a spotted salamander, which was yellow dots on a black lure. And I could just not get the regular yellow to show up on black. So I ended up having to do the spots in white and then put yellow over them, because white would cover up black, but yellow wouldn't. So I don't know how this is going to work. I guess I don't really need to shake these, do I? Just need to take the cap out of there. Of course, I'm going to get it all over my hands. That's part of the game. All right. I'm going to put a fair amount in there, because I think it's going to take multiple coats. That ought to be enough. Let's mix it up. I went ahead and painted these black off camera, just because it's just like priming them in white. All right, that looks like it's mixed up well. Got the airbrush cleaned out. Let's see what happens. This is all an experiment. All right, so I'm not going to paint the whole thing. I'm going to probably just paint the lower half. I should probably flip those over. Let's do that real quick. Since we're mostly putting this stuff on the bottom, let's see how it looks. so I can tell, much like the red flash and the blue flash over black, it's going to take a few coats. Although it looks pretty cool. Actually, it's probably not going to take as many coats as I think. This camera's not working for some reason. Well, you can see this is coat number 3 on these things, and it is a totally different look on black than it was on white. And I really like it. I'm really interested. I mean, I'm almost tempted to leave the top black because it looks so cool, but I'm going to put another coat on this. I'm going to heat set it, put another coat on it, and then we're going to switch over to the blue. So a really cool effect. Man, I mean, it's hard to believe how different it is. Let's heat set it. All right, well, now we're going with this bluish purple flash. As different as that green was, whoops, forgot it's got a cap. Guess this make the paint last longer. Or just to get more paint on my fingers, one or the other. Fair amount. And a fair amount of reducer. We'll mix that up. All the water out of the gun. Put that in there. Now, this is the stencil I used last time. And I just kind of put it on that last hook eye. Get that up a little bit. And let's paint. I'll go really light and do multiple coats. Try to pull it off without smearing it. Oh man, yeah, that's going to take a lot of coats, especially over that yellow. Put it on there and do it again. And then we'll flip it over. Starting to show up. Once I get these bars on here, then I'm going to do the back. All right. The bars are going to be very subdued on this one because it's on the yellow. But let's see what it looks like on the back once I start putting that color on black. I guess we can trash that. All right. Nice. That's gonna look wicked cool. Definitely different. We'll blend that in a little bit with those stripes. This is the last one. I've put 3 coats of this bluish purple on the bars. Doesn't show up great on the chartreuse, but I'm going to run it up and down the back and blend it in on those sides. Just about out of paint. This one might be a little bit lighter than the others. All right, final heat set. All right, well, we're going to use the same eyes, I think, as we used on the other one. It's just basically a black pupil with a kind of a clear iris. Get these eyeballs on these things, get them clear coated, and see what they look like. I gotta tell you, I like the initial look quite a bit. It's a darker lure for sure, but it's got that really cool iridescent look. But the difference in color between the two is simply amazing. Just by changing the base coat. All right, eyeballs in, clear coat. Here is the finished product. And I gotta tell you, I like the way these turned out. But hang on just a second. It just absolutely blows my mind that these 2 lures are painted with the exact same paints. This yellow-green flash on the bottom and this purplish blue flash on the top, or bluish purple. The only difference being is this one was painted on top of opaque white, and the one in the back was painted over opaque black. Yeah, totally amazing and totally different effect. And like everything on this channel, I'm learning as I go. So definitely learned something important in this one. So will these catch walleye? I don't know. I sure hope so. I just happen to know a guy who does a lot of walleye fishing here in the one body of water in New Hampshire that has walleye. And I'm going to give these 2 lures to him. David, if you're watching, these are yours. If you take me walleye fishing with you, and we'll see which color the big eyes like best. Thanks for coming along, everybody. This was a really fun experiment. Got some real color shift paints in the mail, so stay tuned for those videos. Like I said, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you next time. Peace.